Okay, welcome. I'd like to call this May 8th, 2017 council meeting to order. If you'll please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. He's like, why don't you,
Will clerk please call the roll?
Shields.
Here.
Simpson.
Here.
Coin.
Here.
Hilberg.
Here.
Colasar.
Here.
Lamb.
Here.
Rose.
Here. Reading of the minutes.
Mr. President,
Mr. Shields.
I move that the minutes from the regular council meeting of April 24th, 2017 as prepared and submitted by the clerk be approved. Second.
Discussion on the reading of the minutes. Will clerk please call the roll on the approval of the minutes?
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Reports of standing committees. The Finance Committee met prior to the council meeting and we meet again in 2 weeks. We have several items on the agenda. Health, Safety, and Sanitation Committee, Mr. Colzar.
Thank you, Mr. President. We do not have a meeting scheduled. There is a purchase of a truck for the Sanitation Department on the agenda for tonight, but besides that, nothing to report.
Thank you. Public Properties Committee, Mr. Shields.
Thank you, Mr. President. Public Properties met this evening before Finance Committee, and we had one item on the agenda regarding a donation from the four Kiwanis Clubs of Medina toward our Memorial Pool project. And we will have more information on that once the grant is approved from the Kiwanis Foundation.
Thank you. Special Legislation Committee, Mr. Lamb.
Thank you, Mr. President. No meeting scheduled, but we did pass some legislation along tonight that was in special legislation a few weeks ago. Thank you.
Streets and Sidewalks Committee, Mr. Simpson.
Thank you, Mr. President. No meeting scheduled, nothing to report.
Water and Utilities Committee, Mr. Hilberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. No meeting scheduled, nothing to report.
And the Emerging Technologies Committee, Mr. Rose.
Thank you, Mr. President. No meeting scheduled and nothing to report.
Thank you. Requests for council action. We have several for the Finance Committee and one for the Streets and Sidewalks Committee. 1778 Budget Amendment, 1779 Amending Codified Ordinance 13301 Association Memberships, 1780 Bids for the 2017 Concrete Pavement Joint Sealing Program, 1781 Bids for the 2017 Concrete Street Repair Program, 1782 Expenditure over $15,000 for the WAMFAF Electric Engineering, 1783 Adopt OPBA Sergeant's Contract, 1784 Adopt OPBA Patrolman's Contract, 1785 Adopt OPBA Communication Operators Contract, 1786 Adopt Teamsters Contract, 1787 Amend Salaries and Benefits Code Sections 3103, 3113, and 3116. 1788 Cooperative Purchase for a new 2013 Freightliner M2 VAC-all for the streets. 1789 State Bid Purchase for a 2018 Freightliner Dump Truck for the Water Department. And 1791 Discuss Ordinance Barring Medical Marijuana in the City of Medina. For Streets and Sidewalks Committee, we had one item, 1790, Adopt Annual Street Curb Installation Program. Reports of municipal officers. Mayor Hamill?
Thank you, Mr. President. We have a number of events coming up here in the community. I'll share those with you. But this past Thursday on May 4th, we had the National Day of Prayer events, a breakfast, noon, and an evening service, and those were all well attended, and city was represented well. I'd like to congratulate the Communities Design Committee on their 50-year anniversary. It's really amazing when I went to their annual meeting, and when you hear about all of the efforts from the street lights to this historic building to keeping the county courts on the square. It's really amazing what a small group of individuals have done that make Medina the special place it is. And I'd like to thank Councilman Lamb and all the members of the CDC over the years for all they've done to support the city. On Thursday, May 11th, from noon to 3, there's a National Drug Court Awareness event on Medina Public Square, and there will be free hot dogs for anybody that would like to attend. On Monday, May 15th, That's Peace Officers Memorial Day, which was established in 1962 by the late President John F. Kennedy. And I'd just like to thank all of our local police officers and staff for their efforts day in and day out to put their lives on the line for each of us. On Friday, May 19th, from noon to 1, the Medina City Schools Strings will perform in the Uptown Park, Medina Public Square. Friday, May 19th, on the Common Pleas front court steps, the annual Sea of Blue will recognize police in our country who have given their lives in this past year. And then last but not least, Rolling Thunder will host a candlelight vigil on Medina Public Square on Saturday, May 20th from 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And this is to recognize veterans who are still either missing in action or prisoners of war that have not come home. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Durham, Director of Finance.
Thank you, Mr. President. As you know, we are working through the budget process. We had a budget meeting, and we have another one next week. And we're working with we in finance are working with other departments on the next set of budgets, which are coming up.
Thank you. Mr. Huber, Law Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report.
Thank you. Lieutenant Brooke Beckler, Police Department.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report.
Thank you. Mrs. Marshall, Economic Development Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Mendel, Planning and Community Development Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report this evening as well.
Thank you. Mr. Wright, Recreation Center Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report.
Wow. Mr. Worley, Parks and Recreation Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. The only thing I have to report is the Medina Invitational Soccer Tournament is this weekend at Huffman Cunningham Park and Fred Greenwood Park. So use caution when driving through town, and we'll welcome a lot of visiting teams from other communities. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gladish, Building Official.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report.
Thank you. Mr. Patton, City Engineer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Update on our two major construction projects. West Smith Road, we did pour the eastbound lane over 2 evenings 2 weeks ago. Work will continue on the northern lane, which is the westbound lane. Appreciate everyone's cooperation. And as folks know, if they're driving North Court, north of Reagan, ODOT has gone into what they call zone. They've changed the traffic pattern up there. We do appreciate everyone's cooperation with that. It'll be that way for a couple of months until they switch over to the other side. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Picoli, Service Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. One quick item. City of Medina Sanitation Department is going to roll out our yard waste program. We're going to start Monday, May 22nd. We'll pick up grass clippings, leaves, twigs, branches, and shrubbery. We will not pick up rocks, dirt, plastic bags, or food waste and gravel. The information is on the website with instructions on how to prepare the same, and we plan on picking up yard waste the same day as regular trash routes. So thank you.
Thank you. Notices, communications, petitions. We have none. Unfinished business. There's none. Introduction of visitors. Members of the public will be permitted the opportunity to speak on any issue or concern which pertains to the city during the portion of the council agenda devoted to introduction of visitors. All comments shall be directed to the chair, and a reasonable time limit of approximately 5 minutes will be imposed. If there's a group, please appoint a spokesperson. Speakers should approach the front right microphone and state their name and address so it can be entered into the minutes. Members of the public will be afforded the opportunity to comment on other portions of the meeting as determined by the chair or by a vote of the majority of council members present. Is there anybody that wishes to address council at this time? Nope. Introduction and consideration of ordinances and resolutions. We have Resolution 6217 as the first resolution, and I'm going to ask Don Conwell to approach up the front up here for a presentation. Okay, we're good, I think. This is going to be good. We have a resolution to present to you. This is resolution number 6217. It's a resolution commending Dawn Conwell for her dedicated years of service to the City of Medina as Administrative Office Manager to the Mayor. Whereas Dawn Conwell has been employed as Administrative Office Manager to the Mayor since January 2nd, 2002. I don't like you, Mother. And whereas Dawn Conwell has, with enthusiasm and effectiveness, made an excellent and constructive contribution to our community, she will be missed both professionally and as a friend. wrote this. And whereas Medina City Council wishes to express their gratitude and appreciation to Don Conwell for her dedicated years of public service to the city of Medina. And now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Medina, Ohio, that Medina City Council hereby extends their sincere thanks and appreciation to Don Conwell for her commitment to the city and the community, and wishes her congratulations, good health, and continued success in her life's pursuits. That signed this resolution to be presented to Don Conwell in recognition for her years of dedicated service. Thank you for all your dedicated service.
Thank you.
Any words for us?
You kidding me? You think I can actually make it through that?
Sure you can.
Probably not. Of course, it's been an honor and a privilege. Told you. I started, when I was 22, and I grew up here. There's a lot of you I consider my family. Some of you I tease that you were the older brother I never wanted, but in all reality, you're. Anyway, it's been a privilege. I mean, all of you truly have been a family to me, and I'm going to miss a lot of stuff, but I'm super excited to spend time with my girls and my hubby. Thanks for the support. I know you've listened to a lot of stuff over the years, and I appreciate that. Mayor, it's been an honor. Truly, it has been. Mr. Shields, all the nonsense we deal with, mainly Mr. Nino, but we'll talk about that later. It's not really the forum for it. But you guys are great, and to the community, you guys have no idea how much this group here loves this community, and they really truly put their heart and soul into everything they do for all 27,000 residents. That includes council and all these guys. And a lot of these guys have been here since 7 o'clock this morning, 7:30 this morning. They've got families, but their number one priority is to make sure that this is a better community and that we're safer, and that leadership starts at the top with the mayor. So everybody's very fortunate to have this team, and I appreciate all of them.
Well, thank you. I think the mayor has a few words too. Oh yeah, wait. No, do you want to vote on this? Or?
Yeah,
I think we do. Okay. I forgot about that. That's probably a good thing. I hope it doesn't fail. Don't fail. Okay.
Got a lot of
Mr. Shields?
Well, it is my great honor and privilege, but also a little bit of my sadness to introduce this resolution 6217, but I'll make the motion to approve on behalf of Dawn.
And I will second it.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. President?
Yes, Mr. Rose?
Don, I can't think of a time, regardless of what was going on here, that I came in the office with something that I needed, wanted a question or whatever, and you didn't handle it with certainly a top level of professionalism, but with a smile on your face. I will miss that. You've always been one of the bright spots anytime I came in here, and thank you for your service, and thank you. Thank you.
John, I just want to say too, we started at the same time here 16 years ago, and I'd be lost as a council person without you in that office, and you always take care of everything. I will miss your smile. I will miss your laugh more than anything when I walk in here, because you can hear it wherever you're at in City Hall, but it's the greatest laugh in the world.
And her shoes.
It's, what I will miss most is that you always know how to take care of things and figure it out, and if you don't know the answer, you found it for me, and I don't know who's going to keep Nino in line or get answers from Nino for me without you here, but I appreciate that more than anything, and just appreciate what a great job you did and how much you care about this community. So.
Mr. Lamb?
Dawn, truthfully, you exemplified all the characteristics that people in this community have come to know that you spoke of with the administration and the mayor and the city council people. You were every bit a part of that, and glad to see you have opportunity and time to spend with your girls and your husband and your family. It's a wonderful opportunity for you, and thank you for all you've done here.
Mr. Simpson?
Dawn. I'm going to echo what Jim said as far as your laughter is as many times as it doesn't matter what time of day I walk in. I know you're sitting behind that desk, and if I can always wave it and you'll wave back. Any problem that I've had in the 14 years I've been here, with council, it's Kathy. With the city, you've never not been able to handle a problem that I've had. And when any of our department heads have been on vacation, Nino, you're the go-to girl. The only thing that I truly mean this, I know you love this community. I don't know how you worked 8 years with an administrator that made you listen to Michigan's the University of Michigan, and the last 6 years, Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know how you've actually dealt with that part. But you have, and you've done it with grace, and I'm going to miss your face. I'm going to miss your laughter, and we love you. We really and truthfully, you are a family. And girls, appreciate it, because we sure appreciate her while she was with us. It's with you too, Chris. Thank you.
Mr. Colzar?
You know, one, I'm sorry I didn't make your open house. But, you know, as I sat back and I talked to Nino too, and I was like, well, I'm going to say something at council. And, you know, I sit back and think, you know, we have a lot of really good employees in this city, but I consider you an anchor to a foundation of this city. And you were at the front lines with residents coming in, communicating. And in my tenure as council, I've not heard one single bad response from any of our residents in dealing with the mayor's office and dealing with you in particular. So, you know, on behalf of Ward 3, thank you so much for being a dedicated worker, a hard worker, and getting results for us when we need it. And we're going to truly miss you. And thank you to the family too for allowing her to work here. And I know there's probably been some stressful times coming home, because my wife deals with it too sometimes, just coming home and just relieving some of that pressure you feel here. But you've done an excellent job, and I wish you and the family the best. Thanks.
Mr. Hilberg?
Dawn, I'm always the last one to go, so everybody's already said everything. So I thought I was going to share a story, but I decided I didn't want to embarrass you right now. So thank you for your years of service, and good luck in the future.
Thank you. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Well. Okay. Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Resolution 62-17 passes 7-0.
Ready? So Dawn and I, my first recall of spending time with Dawn was in the summer of 2001. And her family was dealt a severe challenge. And she was recently married to Chris. And we spent quite a bit of time together helping each other work through that, and helping the department work through that, and helping Chris work through that. And then in January, 6 months later of 2002, Mayor Lever brought her on to be her assistant first, and then ultimately the administrative office manager over all the clerks. And when I ran for office in 2009, a part of my reasoning was to protect those department heads, and everybody thought I would bring my administrative assistant over from the police department. But as Mark so eloquently put, Dawn was the foundation and the anchor here. And there was no doubt in my mind that, as well as the other department heads, that we needed her to stay. And I can tell you, in 40 years of both private and public supervision, I've always counseled people that if there ever comes a difference between what's best for your family and what's best for your job, you got to go with your family. So a few months ago, my wife and I were having dinner with Chris and Dawn broke the news that she was going to be leaving to spend more time with her family. And I can tell you, in 40 years, I'd never been in a position like that where I thought what was best for her family was so contrary to what was best for the city. And I struggled with that for a little bit while, until Dawn told me about the reaction of the two daughters, of her being there when they got off the bus from school, that she could help with their sports, that she could go to the school events that she couldn't do while working here. And it was clear to me that that was the right decision. And I wish Chris and the girls and you, Dawn, the very best. And this is a proclamation, our very first proclamation together without you.
Looks good.
We had to do a very small font because there are so many things to say. City of Medina proclamation, whereas Don Conwell has worked as office manager for the City of Medina Mayor's office since January 1st of 2012. And whereas Don has faithfully served previous Mayor Jane Lever and has currently been serving in this capacity for Mayor Dennis Hanwell. And whereas Don has been a valued and trusted source for advice, direction, assistance, and counsel to the mayor, department heads, council, and the general public. Whereas Don has set a high standard of customer service to be used as a model and emulated by others in public service by tirelessly serving over and above expectations in her role as administrative office manager, including working evenings, weekends, and holidays, and doing whatever it took to get the job done well. And whereas Dawn has chosen to retire from the city in order to spend more time with her family and take part in her children's activities. Whereas the City of Medina is very grateful for Dawn's service, leadership, and care of the community for the past nearly 16 years. And whereas the City of Medina is losing the talent, the expertise, and the loyalty of one of the city's exemplary employees. And whereas Dawn's dedicated service and outgoing, helpful personality will be missed by all. And now, therefore, I, Dennis Hanwell, Mayor of the City of Medina, do hereby recognize and commend Dawn Conwell for her years of dedicated service to the City of Medina and wish her the best in her time now devoted to her family. I present this to you.
You can still come and visit us if you'd like. Okay, congratulations again. Ordinance 6317, ordinance authorizing the job creation grant agreement for Carlisle Brake and Friction, Inc.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Mrs. Marshall?
Thank you, Mr. President. This request is for the mayor to enter into a job creation grant agreement with the Carlisle Brake and Friction Company located at 920 Lake Road. The company has proposed a 150,000 square foot addition to their manufacturing operations for enhanced steel processing and warehousing. They will be adding new machinery and equipment and adding significant electrical infrastructure as a part of this project. In addition to the expansion, they will also be making major facade renovations to the exterior of the building, as well as many interior renovations. They are looking to invest $28.6 million in this project, hire 70 new employees, and a little over $3 million in payroll. The agreement will provide Carlisle Brake and Friction Incorporated with a grant up to 40% of new payroll taxes to the City of Medina for 6 years. As a reminder for council and the public, these grants are funded from non-income tax generated revenues. Finally, we were in competition with Indiana and Oklahoma for this project, and I would like to thank Bethany Dentler from the Medina County Economic Development Corporation and Stephanie Mercado from Jobs Ohio for their support and assistance with keeping the Carlisle Brake and Friction Company in the city, county, and state. And the last thing is we are not requesting the emergency clause. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Mr. President.
Mr. Colzar?
Just real brief, I want to thank our administration, our Economic Development Department, the county's Economic Development Department, and their pursuit to retain this company and bring new jobs to the community. You guys, I really appreciate all the hard work you've done to keep them here and add on to our economy. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Any further discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll on adoption of the ordinance?
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson. Coin.
Yes.
Ordinance 63-17 passes 7-0.
Ordinance 6417, ordinance amending ordinance number 10116, passed July 11, 2016, authorizing an increase of the expenditure to Johnson Laux Construction for demolition of Masonic Temple and Medina Theater building.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Mr. Patton.
Thank you. During the demolition of the Medina Masonic Temple and the theater last summer and into the fall, we found some asbestos material that we're not expecting to find. There's an increased cost to abate that, remove it safely, and this is to cover that cost increase.
Thank you. Any further discussion or comment? Will the clerk please call the roll on adoption of the ordinance?
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Ordinance 64-17 passes 7-0.
Ordinance 6517, ordinance authorizing the purchase of one 2017 GMC Sierra four-wheel drive crew cab pickup truck from Medina Auto Mall to be used by the Sanitation Department.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion. Mr. Pacoli.
Thank you, Mr. President. So up until 2013, there were 2 pickup trucks in sanitation department. We auctioned the older one off. At that time, we chose not to replace the other pickup truck. Up until this point, we're looking to purchase this vehicle. It'll help with respect to shuttling the employees around from truck to truck in a more efficient manner, and with 2 supervisors running in opposite directions, it'll help. So if I may, so I don't know if I'm going to get the mic, Dawn. I'm going to miss you. And it's been a pleasure working with you over these years. There's been a lot of good work done, a lot of opportunity for folks and changing their lives by the positive things that you've done. So I'm happy for you and your family. You know that. I'm going to miss you terribly. You broke our pact. All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good luck to you.
You got the last one in, didn't you? Okay. Any other discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll on the adoption of the ordinance?
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Ordinance 65-17 passes 7-0.
Ordinance 6617, ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an amendment number 8 to the agreement with Delta Airport Consultants, Inc. for the rebidding services for the North-South Taxiway Reconstruction Project at the Medina Municipal Airport.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion?
Mr. President,
Mr. Shields?
the emergency clause has been requested. I move to add it this time.
My second includes the emergency clause.
Discussion on the emergency clause and the ordinance. Mr. Huber.
We received a grant to rebuild the north-south taxiway that runs parallel to the north-south runway at the Medina Airport. We bid this project last year, but as a result of the prices that came in, we weren't able to proceed with the project. Consequently, this year we're going to rebid the job, hopefully receive bids that we can accept. The contract at issue here includes an additional $7,800 to be reimbursed through the grant for this rebidding process. The emergency clause has been requested as we would like to get this out to bid as soon as possible prior to the building season going too much farther. And I'd also like to join Nino and tell Dawn that I'm going to miss you an awful lot. It's been really wonderful to work with you, and I can't even put that into words. So many thanks.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the ordinance and or the emergency clause? Will the clerk please call the roll on the adoption of the emergency clause?
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Will the clerk please call the roll on the adoption of the ordinance?
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Ordinance 66-17 passes 7-0.
Ordinance 6717, ordinance amending section 3102A1 of the Salaries and Benefits Code of the City of Medina, Ohio, relative to seasonal employees in the Recreation Department.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion?
Mr. President,
Mr. Shields?
the emergency clause has been requested. I move to add it this time.
My second includes the emergency clause.
Discussion on the emergency clause and the ordinance. Mr. Wright.
Thank you, Mr. President. This ordinance is following in line with the Memorial Pool coming under the Rec Center umbrella. It'll allow us to save funds by paying the employees rec wages instead of parks wages. And the emergency clause is requested because we're going to be training those employees in the next 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion or comment? Will the clerk please call the roll on the emergency clause?
Simpson.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I take that back. Coin.
Never mind. Never mind.
Coin.
No.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson. Simpson? Say it
Yes.
again. Okay. Just say it again. Motion passes 6 yeas, 1 nay.
Clerk, please call the roll on adoption of the ordinance.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
No.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Ordinance 67-17 passes 6 yeas, 1 nay.
Ordinance 6817, ordinance amending ordinance number 16716, passed December 12, 2016. Amendments to the 2017 budget.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Durham.
Thank you, Mr. President. This amendment is for our budget because when the hats are sold by the Bicentennial Committee, we then need to appropriate the money. And while we're speaking of the hats, I'm wearing one of the fancy and fashionable Medina Bicentennial hats. They are $30 a piece. They're available at Benjamin Moore, at Sports World, and then during events on the square, they usually have them at the Firehouse. And the funds they raise from selling these hats will help Medina's Bicentennial celebration, which will be next year. And on the theme of tonight's meeting, I got that information from Dawn because one of the things that she was doing for our city was working with the Bicentennial Committee, and I appreciate all that she's done for our city over the last almost 16 years, and I will miss you as well.
Thank you. Any further comments? Will the clerk please call the roll on adoption of the ordinance?
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Ordinance 68-17 passes 7-0.
Council comments.
Mr. President.
Mr. Colzar.
Yeah, briefly, two items here. I just want to reach out to everybody that participated in the Earth Day Arbor Day event we had on Saturday, April 29th. If you can recall, April 29th, it was a monsoon, basically, but we still had about 15 people that came out. Our finance director, Keith Durham, and his wife came out, Dolly Aller. I'll give you props. You're right here in the audience. I appreciate you coming out. We had some come from the neighborhood surrounding to help. We also had representation from the Medina Hospital, and some of the workers there came down from Brunswick, Creston, but it was successful. We were able to clean up the park, clean up the creeks, Champion Creek section through the park, and also I want to thank our forestry, I'll thank Jansen Worley, Parks and Rec Director, who helped contribute some supplies for the event, and also had our city forester, Curtis Welcock, come out and assist in planting. We planted 5 fairly large bur oaks in the Sam Massey Park. So it was successful. We always like to get more volunteers each year, but like I said, it was a monsoon, so I appreciate the diehards that came out to help. And also, just want to say thank you to the residents that came out to our Ward 3, Ward 4 meeting we had at Ella Canavan since our last meeting. And I urge residents, when you get that flyer in your water bill, put it on the fridge, come out, get to know your local representatives, and voice your opinions, because we do act on some of the concerns you bring up. So thanks again.
Thank you. Additional council comments? Mr. Simpson.
Just want to remind everybody, only 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks to the grand opening of the Medina new Medina Municipal Pool. Season passes are available now. If you get a chance, drive by the area. I think everybody's going to be really impressed. There's been so much hard work done from the city administration, the Parks Department, the Recreations Department, the Streets Department. Just about everybody sitting at the table over there in the administrative section has been involved with this one way or another. Mr. Gladish has lent a hand. Everybody has. So please watch the flyers in the newspaper or the articles in the newspaper for the times and dates for the grand opening. But I think Medina residents and surrounding communities are going to be impressed with what this city did. So thank you.
Additional council comments?
Mr. President? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. You're
Mr.
way more
Rose?
important than what I'm going to say. Trust me.
No, I just...
oh, wait a minute. No.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, you are.
Thanks. Hey, Mo, where's Larry? As you know, periodically throughout my tenure here, I've offered out some shining bits of light in the community. While these aren't Medina City residents, they are Medina community residents. The Clutter family put on a horse show for the benefit of the county home. Had the opportunity to go and visit that yesterday, and it was quite an affair. The young kids had an opportunity to practice their horse riding skills, as well at the same time the residents of Medina County Home had some entertainment, and they were benefited from the proceeds from the fundraiser went directly to the county home. So shining light accolades go out to the Clutter family for putting that on. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lamb.
Listen, let me just say this one thing. I have for a long time thought there are so many people in this city that never really get the recognition they deserve or their picture on the wall. And I have looked at that wall since 1982. And finally tonight, I see that my wishes come true, and somebody who wasn't the mayor but is so well deserving of being on that wall is definitely up there. And congratulations, Dawn. I believe you more than anybody deserve to be up there with all of them. And that's the end of my comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional council comments?
Yes, that is. I didn't even know.
I looked up there, I thought, oh.
I just have one. There's a budget meeting on Wednesday. Come early, come often. It's a lot of fun.
Next week? Wednesday, it's the following week.
Wait, oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. May 17th, Wednesday, not May 10th, Wednesday, at 5:30. It's going to be a lot of fun, so hopefully everybody can attend. With that, the meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
Get about adjourned.
Yeah, wait 2 weeks then.